Hey, you ever feel like retirement planning is a maze of confusing financial products?
It can be a real jungle out there.
Annuities are one of those that can sound daunting,
Yeah.
but they can be a really powerful tool for securing your future.
That's true. It's worth taking a closer look.
So let's dive into the world of annuities and see if they're right for you.
Let's unpack this. Annuities are essentially contracts with insurance companies.
Right.
You give them a lump sum of money, and in return, they promise to pay you back in a series of installments, often for life.
So it's kind of like a personalized pension, but with a lot of variations.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting. Different types of annuities have different risks, potential returns, and suitability for different situations.
That's a lot to take in. So let's break down the basics. What makes annuities so appealing for people planning for retirement?
The biggest draw is the guarantee of income. With a fixed annuity, you know exactly how much money you'll be receiving every month, regardless of how the stock market is performing. That's a huge comfort for people who want to avoid the roller coaster ride of market volatility.
Okay, so it's like a safety net for your money, but with a catch. It sounds almost too good to be true.
There's always a trade-off. The guaranteed income usually comes with a lower return than you might get investing in the stock market. It's a choice between stability and potential growth.
So if you're risk averse and want predictability, a fixed annuity might be a good fit. But what if you want the potential for your money to grow without too much risk? That's where fixed indexed annuities come in, right?
That's right. Fixed indexed annuities are like a bridge between fixed annuities and variable annuities. They're linked to the performance of a market index, like the S&P 500, but your principal is still protected. It's like a safety net with the potential for some upside.
So you can potentially earn more than you would with a fixed annuity, but your money is still protected from major market losses.
Interesting. But there are some nuances. The interest rate isn't directly tied to the index performance. There are caps on how much you can earn, and the formulas used to calculate the interest can be complex.
Sounds like there's some fine print involved.
Always. It's crucial to do your homework and understand how the caps, participation rates, and crediting formulas work before you invest in a fixed indexed annuity. You need to understand exactly how your investment will grow or shrink based on the market performance and the contract terms.
So it's a bit more nuanced than a traditional fixed annuity, but it might offer a balance between stability and potential growth.
Yeah.
But what about those who want a lot more control over their investment and are willing to take on a larger risk for the potential for greater returns?
That's where variable annuities come in. With a variable annuity, you get to choose how your money is allocated, similar to mutual funds. You can invest in stocks, bonds, or money market accounts, and your potential returns depend on the performance of those investments.
Okay, so you could potentially earn a lot more with a variable annuity, but your money is also at risk.
That's right. Variable annuities offer the potential for higher returns, but there's no guarantee that you'll make money, and you could even lose some of your principal.
It's a bit like gambling, but with a safety net. Can you tell me more about that?
Variable annuities come with death benefit guarantees. That means if you die before your annuity payments start, your beneficiaries will receive a minimum payment, even if the value of your annuity has declined.
It's like insurance for your inheritance, but with potential market risk.
Exactly. So if you're comfortable with taking on some risk in exchange for the potential for higher returns, a variable annuity could be a good fit. But you need to be prepared to do your research and understand the risks involved.
It sounds like a risky, but potentially rewarding path.
It's a delicate balancing act, just like all retirement planning. And now that we've covered the basics, let's see how these different annuities might work in a real-world scenario.
Okay, so you've mentioned that every situation is unique. So let's imagine a couple in their early 70s with a sizable nest egg. Let's say they have $100,000 that they want to invest for their retirement, but they don't plan on touching it for another 15 years. They also want to make sure their daughter inherits the money smoothly and without paying a lot of taxes. They're also concerned about protecting those funds from Medicaid spend-down requirements in case they need long-term care. Given all that, what would you recommend?
That's a great hypothetical scenario, and it highlights the importance of considering all the angles when planning for retirement. Let's unpack this.
So for this couple, they've got a few key goals. They want their money to grow over time, but they also want to avoid the risk of losing it. They're looking for a smooth transfer to their daughter, and they're trying to plan for potential long-term care needs. Given all of this, which annuity type would you suggest?
Given their time horizon, risk tolerance, and goals, a fixed indexed annuity might be a good option.
Interesting. Why is that?
Because it offers a balance between growth and protection. They don't need to access the money for 15 years, so they have time for the investment to grow with the market. But their principal is still protected, which addresses their concern about losing their initial investment.
It's kind of a sweet spot then. But what about Medicaid and estate planning? How does a fixed indexed annuity play into that?
That's where it gets a bit tricky. The rules surrounding Medicaid and annuities can vary greatly from state to state. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. They definitely need to consult with an elder law attorney or a financial advisor who specializes in Medicaid planning to determine if a fixed indexed annuity can be structured in a way that protects those funds from Medicaid spend down requirements.
So it might be a good option, but it's not a guaranteed solution, right? It depends on how the annuity is structured.
Exactly. They need to make sure they're meeting the specific requirements of their state. However, a fixed index annuity can potentially be structured in a way that protects those funds from being counted towards those Medicaid limits.
Okay, so it's worth exploring, but they need to get expert advice.
Hmm.
What about estate planning? How can a fixed indexed annuity help with transferring the money to their daughter?
A fixed indexed annuity can be a very useful tool for estate planning. Since it's considered a non-probate asset, the money can be transferred directly to their daughter, the named beneficiary, without going through probate, which can be costly and time-consuming. This can help minimize estate taxes and delays in the inheritance process.
So it's like an express lane for inheritance. It's smoother and faster than the traditional probate route.
Exactly. And this is where it really gets interesting. If the annuity is structured correctly, it can also potentially reduce estate taxes.
Wow, that's really beneficial. It sounds like a fixed indexed annuity can be a great option for this couple, but they need to understand the nuances of the specific contract terms, especially when it comes to Medicaid and estate planning.
Absolutely. This is where it's crucial to consult with a financial advisor who can explain the details of the contract and make sure it aligns with their specific goals and needs.
It sounds like a good advisor can make all the difference, especially when dealing with complex financial products like annuities. But we're still missing a piece of the puzzle, right? We've only discussed fixed and fixed indexed annuities. What about variable annuities? Do those play a role here?
Variable annuities could potentially be an option for this couple, but I wouldn't recommend it in their specific situation.
Why not? They want their money to grow, right?
Yes, but they also want to protect their principal. Variable annuities come with a lot more risk than fixed or fixed indexed annuities. With a variable annuity, the value of your investment is dependent on the performance of the stock market, and you could potentially lose some or all of your money if the market declines. That's a risk that this couple, given their age and time horizon, might not be comfortable with.
Okay, I see. So for them, the potential for higher returns with a variable annuity doesn't outweigh the risk. It's not worth the worry for them.
Precisely. They have a shorter time horizon and are looking for stability and protection for their nest egg.
So it seems like a fixed indexed annuity might be the best option for this couple.
It's worth considering. But again, it's essential to remember that this is a hypothetical scenario, and each individual circumstances are different. What makes sense for this couple might not make sense for someone else.
Definitely. It's a good starting point, but it's just a starting point. And it's crucial for everyone to have a clear understanding of their own goals and risk tolerance, and then consult with a financial advisor to get personalized advice.
Absolutely. Annuities can be powerful financial tools, but they're not one-size-fits-all solutions. It's important to understand the different types, weigh the pros and cons, and choose the option that best aligns with your unique situation.
So remember that every journey is unique, just like your financial situation.
Yeah.
But with the right information and guidance, you can create a plan that helps you achieve your retirement goals and secure your financial future.
That's a great point. And now that we've covered the basics of annuities, let's talk about how to choose the right financial advisor to help you navigate this process.
We've covered a lot of ground on annuities, from the basics to some real-life applications.
Yeah, it's been a pretty comprehensive deep dive.
But choosing the right one and the right advisor to guide you, that's crucial.
It's like finding a rare compass when you're navigating uncharted territory. You need something reliable to help you stay on course.
And just like any important purchase, you wouldn't buy the first car you see without doing your research, right? Same goes for annuities. What are some key things to look for when choosing a financial advisor to help with this decision?
You want an advisor who takes the time to really understand your individual needs and goals. Someone who listens more than they talk, at least initially.
So it's about finding someone who's on your team, not just trying to sell you a product.
Precisely. Look for an advisor who's transparent about their fees, their experience with annuities, and any potential conflicts of interest.
Transparency is key. And what about doing some of my own research beforehand? What are some key questions I should be asking myself before I even start talking to advisors?
That's a great approach. It's always wise to be an informed consumer. Before you even step into an advisor's office, ask yourself, what are my retirement goals? When do I plan to retire? How much income will I need to maintain my lifestyle?
It's like planning a road trip. You need to know your destination and what you want to see along the way before you can choose the right vehicle.
Exactly. And once you have a good grasp of your own retirement vision, you can start thinking about how annuities might fit into that picture. Do you prioritize guaranteed income above all else, even if it means potentially lower returns? Or are you comfortable with a bit more risk for the possibility of higher growth?
It's a balancing act, right? Like choosing between a leisurely stroll in the park and a thrilling roller coaster ride.
And don't forget about the long game. Factor in your health, your family's longevity, potential healthcare costs down the line. Annuities are designed to provide income for life, so you need an advisor who's thinking about your future self, not just your present needs.
It's about planning for the long haul, not just the immediate future.
Precisely. And finally, don't be afraid to shop around for the right annuity, just like you would for any other important financial product. Get quotes from multiple insurance companies, compare fees, benefits, surrender charges, and make sure you're getting the best possible value for your hard-earned money.
It's about being an empowered consumer, advocating for your financial well-being.
Exactly. Annuities can be incredible tools for securing your retirement, but they're not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's about finding the right fit for your unique circumstances, your risk tolerance, and your vision for the future.
And sometimes the best way to find that perfect fit is to have an expert guide by your side, someone who speaks your language and understands your goals.
Someone who can help you navigate the complexities, decode the fine print, and make confident, informed decisions about your financial future.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into the world of annuities. Remember, knowledge is power, and informed decisions lead to a brighter financial future.
Here's to a well-planned, financially secure retirement for all.
Until next time,
Yep.
keep those brains engaged.